Oh man, I hate to inform all of you, for those that don't know, Pete Shelley of the band The Buzzcocks has passed. From what I understand, it was a heart attack. Um, I, man, Pete Shelley, I dug like The Buzzcocks a lot, and the thing about it is, yeah, he was definitely an interesting songwriter, and a lot of his love songs, or how could I say this? A lot of angst, a lot of angst. Of course, they didn't just like write love songs, but I really thought it was cool that he kind of spoke up for those cats that were not the knight in shining armor. I really felt that with things that he wrote, because I'm kind of like that, like those that have been rejected by the ladies and all that, or just certain things that you weren't too fond of, like fast cars, like it's just like almost a spit on the whole, machismo guy, fast car type thing, Um, and one of the first songs I've ever heard about autonomy was, the Buzzcocks Autonomy, even though I think, was that Steve Diggle that sang on the live one? I thought it was Pete, but I saw a live video of it. But anyway, the Buzzcocks were a great band. They influenced so many different people. Some people would even call them the godfathers of pop punk, but the way that they played it was so aggressive and angst, and they didn't care about how clean it sounded. And just that, Shelley's lyrics, like, was definitely a part of the way that band played, and definitely he's gonna be missed, music wise. I mean, he pretty much, it's like almost like created a whole nother genre, even though like some of the spin-offs of that, I'm like, ew, like a lot of that early 90s or just 90s pop punk in general. Green Day definitely sounds more closer to the Buzzcocks. I'm not a Green Day fan. They have some cool songs, but I'm not a fan. But I can hear just the Buzzcocks' influence on them a lot. And I mean, that's just one of the bands that I'm naming. Um, Shoot. And even when like I love even when Howard Devoto was in the band, him and Pete Shelley would write the lyrics. And that song "Kiss Me," for those that don't know, is also Shout on Both Sides by Magazine. I guess they both wrote the lyrics, and um, from what I understand, Howard left and for creative differences. And man, you see what happened when he formed Magazine. It was a whole different thing, But it's so cool because you would hear songs like you heard, like Shout on Both Sides is Kiss Me, or Kiss My, oh man, how can I forget the title? Or Lipstick or something like that. Shame on me, man. How am I forgetting the title of these songs? But it's the same song as Shout on Both Sides, but also, Boredom. Like Magazine did I mean, the song is already great to begin with. It's like, who could cover this in a greater way? And freaking Magazine, well, obviously, I'm sure Howard and Pete wrote that song together too. But man, I love the Magazine version just as much as I love the Buzzcocks version of that. Magazine had to definitely take it in what some people might call an artistic angle. That Dave Formula with that piano, that just sounds so cool, man. Man. Anyway, yeah, the Buzzcocks, I saw them live like in the 90s, and man, those guys, that energy that they had was still rocking, man. Like a lot of punk bands, the angst seems like it's kind of flapping in the wind, but these guys, they put on that show, and it was just like on point, man. It was just as if they were playing back in the day, um, especially like, I mean, man, it was just cool to see them when I did. I'm glad that I saw them play and experienced them live, And Pete Shelley definitely will be missed. May his memory be eternal, and sorry for my scattered review. of the Buzzcocks, and hopefully this is a cool memorial. I could be more long-winded, but I'm just gonna quit while I'm ahead. Memory eternal to Pete Shelley.